Chip Davis with plumbers, pipe fitters, refrigeration, HVAC techs. All of us have talked about being skilled trades, and hopefully you've got a good picture of how we all take pride in our work. But one of the important things that usually comes up is, what do I do to prepare for this? What's the most important part of what I'm doing in high school? And the answer might not always be what you want to hear, but in all of our trades, math is important. Your science classes, your physics classes, that type of stuff comes into play in what all the construction trades do. And we're going to make sure you learn how to do all that stuff, and we're going to get you the certifications and licenses and everything you need to be productive and be employable and to make a good living for your family. All of those things are important, but what you bring to the table outside of that is more important than anything else. And it doesn't matter if you are interested in being an electrician or an iron worker or a pipe fitter. Your skill set that you bring to the table is not the most important piece. All of our contractors are all going to tell you the most important thing that you bring to the table is attendance. Somebody that's going to be there every day and somebody that's going to be on time every day. This is a big, big team project. It's a team project within every craft, and it's a team project with all the crafts working together. If people don't show up that are supposed to be there, the entire team suffers. So attendance is number one. And number two is somebody that comes to work with a good attitude. A bad attitude can take the whole job site down, and if everyone's got a good attitude, that goes a long way in keeping the morale on the job site up and keeping the productivity up. So that's just as important as well. And number three being having a good work ethic. All of the construction trades, all of us are going to tell you the same thing. You know, our contractors are looking for people that are going to look at what's going on and know that, all right, we just did this right here, and as soon as we're completely done with this, we're moving over to the next section and we're doing the same thing. So we're looking for those people that don't have to be told, hey, start moving our equipment over here. Hey, start setting up over here. That just automatically know, you know, this is what we're going to have to do, and this is the next step I'm going to have to take, and I'm going to be assertive and step in here and make things go. The other thing that comes along with all of these careers, we've got, I didn't mention this, we cover all of Eastern Iowa, but I've got 35 contractors right now that are employing our apprentices, and all but 2 of those shops are owned by our members that started out going through the apprenticeship and working with the tools and working their way up to supervisory positions, and at some point deciding they either wanted to open their own business and have their own business or buy out an existing business that they were working for. So those opportunities are there in all of construction trades as well.
That's important to make sure that you're comfortable using tools and working in a physical environment.
We're the same way. Our math is going to be a lot of geometry and trigonometry, but we have a lot of apprentices that get in the program that have never had more than general mathematics in high school. It doesn't mean you can't make it. It just means you've got more work to do along the way. If you, I guess for any of us, we're going to tell you this. You need to know your multiplication tables through 10 times 10. If you don't know them, you're going to struggle with fractions. And if you're not good with fractions, you're going to struggle reading a tape measure. And all of us are going to tell you that right off the bat, we're going to send you out on the job site in the very beginning, wanting you to be able to read a tape measure. So a lot of simple things to start. And regardless of what level you come in at, we're going to fill you in from there. The math skills are going to be big for everybody. You know, we do small jobs, we do big jobs. We talk to you a lot about jobs like the Children's Hospital, because that was a job that all of us participated in, and there was a lot of people in it. But sometimes you'll see some small jobs, you know, maybe it's just a little strip mall, maybe it's just a little convenience store, and you might see, you know, only a couple of people from each craft, and maybe the progression of the job doesn't have all the crafts there at the same time. Sometimes you get into remodel projects where only one or two crafts might get involved in that remodel project. So yeah, it can be small scale stuff. When any of us get into any type of ornamental work, that can break down to smaller scale too. Typically, you'll find in most all crafts that no different than an apprentice working with a journeyman. In most cases, you at least have a couple of journeymen working together. Usually everybody's got a partner, somebody that they're working with. There are a lot of places where people work individually as well, especially when you get into the service side with any of us.
I would like to add something to what Chip was saying earlier about, showing up to work and all of those sorts of things. The other thing that you're going to really need is persistence, right? Like with our contractors, you might call them up this week and ask them for a job. They might not have any space available, but you need to call them later on this week, and then again next week, and later on that week, and again the week after that. You're going to have to be persistent and stay after these people to get into the jobs and to get into the programs. And persistence is going to help you in a lot of other ways in this job. Like Chip was saying, we expect people to jump in and try to figure out what's coming next and to help. And you're going to have to be persistent at that as well.
All of us were in high school once like you, and all of us were looking at different opportunities. All of us have our personal stories on how we ended up where we're at. I won't take the time to give you mine, but I can tell you this much. You have got to find a career doing something you enjoy, and you understand that. Everybody gets that. But not only that, you have to find a career that's going to give you the things in life that you want to have. You need to find a career that's going to give you the wages and benefits to get where you want to be in life. And that means you have to find where these two lines cross. It doesn't matter how much you enjoy your job. At the end of the day, if it doesn't pay the bills, you're going to find yourself looking for some other way to supplement your income. And before you know it, that may turn into a totally different career path. So I'm one of those people that started that way. I started out with a career doing something that I thought I would really like doing. I didn't know when I had every option available coming out of high school. And then when I got there, I found out that the career path I started on wasn't going to give me the wages and benefits to get as far as I wanted to be in life. And I found myself kind of starting all over and looking for a different direction. And that was what led me to the building trades and got me to where I'm at today. So keep that in mind. Everybody understands that a $60,000 a year job doesn't pay as much as an $80,000 a year job, but you need to understand where that gets you. What does a $60,000 a year job get you in life? So think about those things. All of our careers are going to allow you to provide for your family and make a good living for yourself in all the construction trades. And none of us talked about the fact that you'll have overtime opportunities and big projects that are working a lot of overtime to try to get done quickly. And those types of opportunities are really a chance to get ahead. All of the construction trades start with what you see in that trifold for wages and benefit packages, but all of us have the opportunities to go way farther than that. So keep those things in mind. You got to find something you enjoy doing. If you don't enjoy the work you're doing, you're not going to be productive, you're not going to be efficient, and pretty quickly you're not going to be employed. So that's every bit as important, but you got to find where the two cross. And we've tried today to give you a picture of what we do on a day-to-day basis, so you can see what that looks like. But I highly recommend that when you decide you want to go a different direction, you contact one of us. You contact Mike or Seth or Chris, or contact one of us and say, hey, can you get me set up to do a job shadow? Can you get me set up to come into your training center and work with your apprentices or something like that? And we'll give you those opportunities so that you can really see what it looks like from the time you go to work in the morning to the time you get off work in the afternoon. You know, most all of our jobs are 7 to 3:30 construction sites, you know, 40-hour-a-week jobs, Monday through Friday. And some of our jobs are 4 10-hour day, you know, Monday through Thursday jobs. So that's kind of what the picture looks like. But don't hesitate to reach out to one of us and say, hey, I want to see a little bit more. Can I come in and spend some time with the apprentices in the training center, or can you get me set up for a job shadow?
So when working on a job site, and you were talking earlier about how everyone has to work in sequence, and, you know, one person has to get, you know, iron workers have to be done, and then maybe electricians and stuff have to be done before painters and stuff come in. If one group falls behind, and you can't continue working until they're done, does that reflect poorly on you or like your work performance? So if you're not able to work because someone else isn't done, I mean, how does that go?
So I think it could, but the point being, like Chip said earlier, attitude is very, very healthy. You have to be a team player, no doubt about it. And we all of our trades have learned to work together, pick each other up, and communicate very, very well. I mean, if you take even one wall in a building, what's inside of that wall? There's electric, there's plumbing, there's structural steel, there could be brickwork, and then carpenters as well. And we all communicate very, very well to keep that job on schedule, and so that it does not hurt each other's reputation. Everyone on this panel, we're friends with each other for a reason. And it wasn't just because I saw, you know, Seth Gorman's picture in the paper or something, and I thought, hey, he sounds like a good guy, I want to be friends with him. No, it's, we work together, and that's how we developed a friendship, and we're able to pick each other up and still complete a job on time. So we're not hurting each other's reputation at all. Does that answer your question?
Job sites have schedules as well. So the job site schedules basically lay out the work that's supposed to happen and be completed each week. Everyone knows what their schedules are. Obviously, Chris with the bricklayers can tell you what happens if they start blocking up a wall and the electrician's got conduit that's supposed to be inside the block, and the electrician's not there to be installing that conduit as the block goes up. And likewise, the same thing happens if there's a water line or a drain line that's supposed to be inside that block wall as it goes up, and the plumber's not there. We have to work together on these things, and we do all work together very well. There are cases when job schedules get way off due to material or due to weather or other things as well. It's not always performance issue. It's not always based on that, and in a lot of cases, it's other components that come into play as well. But by no means are you put on a job site and scrutinized individually for part of that job and the way it's going. You know, if you're an electrician or you're a bricklayer or whatever you are, you're working with that whole group, and the people that you're working with are going to help you and help your project stay on track and keep up with the other crafts as well.